the after, which is where you will be while watching this review after the Oscar nominations are announced, because I review films in advance, and if you think about if you're a subscriber to me, please click subscribe. You'll see that I already give you enough content in one day that if I was to bombard you with the actual amount of content that I watch in some of my days, you'd not like me anymore. This is a short film that's on Netflix, and it is shortlisted for the Oscar the short film shortlist. I don't know how to say that. The narrative feature, best short feature. What is that category called? Anyway, yeah, this is one of those ones that, just like The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar and The Shepherd, it's kind of defeating the purpose of being in this category. We're making short films, and I'm not really sure who we're elevating anymore. David Oyelowo stars in this. I'm hoping the director, at least, is getting elevated, or a writer, somebody like that. We're helping somebody's voice be heard, because yeah, we're throwing a budget at this, and it's on Netflix, and Megan is campaigning for it. The Duchess, Duchess Meghan Markle, is doing the Oscar campaign. I'm assuming this is part of her, since she has that deal with Netflix. Her and Harry have a deal with Netflix. I'm sure this is under their banner, just like Obama with American Symphony. He's technically a producer on American Symphony. So, yes, yeah, this has audio description. I, you know, um, I want audio description and everything, but Roma doesn't have audio description. It was a Best Picture nominee. The After is a short film for Oscar consideration. It has audio description. Netflix, you're not making any sense. I want to really be able to follow the train of thought here, and I appreciate the fact that because this is a Netflix original, you're sticking to your thing. But since you don't always stick to it, and you use the international banner to hide behind sometimes, it kind of makes me go, why does the After? Does it have, simply because of, would this have audio description if you were not submitting it for an Oscar? If this did not make the Oscar shortlist, would this still have audio description? Hot take. Anyway, it's about a father who goes through something tragic and then is later a rideshare driver. And the stories are really fast. I have to move through this review because I do not want my review to be longer than the movie. I thought this was okay. It sounds like it's going to be way more impactful than it actually is. The problem with it is it just doesn't have enough time to develop. It gives you a shocking moment to get you in and be like, holy shit, what the fuck just happened? And then, you just, after that, you're just like, and then he's like a rideshare driver. And like, we don't have enough time to really explore this character. There's very little setup. This is the kind of thing that's really hard to sell in such a short period of time. It feels like a proof of concept for something that somebody wants to make longer. Like, hey, look at me. I want to stretch this into a feature. This was kind of what it would be like. Maybe a little bit of a Locke, but kind of more depressing than Locke. Yeah. It didn't work for me. I thought it felt even shorter than like Netflix's other, well, not all of them. Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, I think, runs longer than the other Roald Dahl shorts that they let Wes Anderson make, like Poison and The Rat Catcher. It felt really short. I didn't even know what the runtime was, maybe 15 minutes, if that. If this was 10 or 12, I would not have been surprised at all. It feels like it just blew by. Um, and I had such a hard time grasping at the emotions and the connection and the grieving and anything that this film could possibly offer me. There's just this one big sort of like holy shit moment in this thing, but you don't get enough time on either end of it to really let it be absorbed. Um, and that's the truth. That's it. Just there isn't enough time to breathe or set up or anything, and it tries to introduce you. It tries to establish this relationship, but it's like it's on a clock, and there's a limited amount of time, and you got to get in and get out, and it sets it up, and then he's standing there talking with his daughter, and then something crazy happens, and we watch it, and we watch the whole thing sort of like unfold, and then he's a rideshare driver, and people are getting in and out of his car, and it's like later, and that's kind of the film. Um, there is a little sort of a payoff, like a little bit of a um, obviously a point to the whole thing that I'm just trying not to tell you. If otherwise, what's the point of me? I could tell you this whole movie in like 2 seconds, but talking around the movie is sometimes harder. David Oyelowo, I'm not even talking about performance because there really isn't one. He's fine. It's this is yeah. I appreciate short films and when they can be used to explore an idea or a thought that should be in a short film. I'm not entirely sure this should be in a short film. I think this should be more of a narrative. We should be allowed more time with these characters. At bare minimum, more time with these characters than what we were allowed. This is way too short. So, those are my thoughts on the after. The audio description was fine. And when the scene happens, I was just kind of like my jaw did drop. I was like, what the but it also it's because of the runtime because when things happen so quickly you're just like what you know it just it caught me off guard, and I got to give props to that. If that's what you're trying to do is catch people off guard in a big way in a short period of time, congratulations. On some level that works. So no, I'm not gonna like not recommend this film, but because part of me would want to see this as a feature. Um, there's a film with Arnold Schwarzenegger that I think is really underrated called Aftermath. You could make that into a short. There's a way to make that into a film that's about the same length as this. However, you would miss the rest of the story that fleshes that movie out. That's the best answer that I can give to this film. And it's not directly comparative of the incident. So it's two totally different incidents. So just in case you've seen Aftermath, there's no plane crash in this. I just I just there are things that happen in that yeah, it's like yes, you could have made that into like a 10-minute film where we explore the similar themes, but at the same time, would you have gotten that the whole movie, the exploration of his character? Anyway, just some thoughts. This review is probably longer than the film. I'm gonna give The After a C plus. If it doesn't get the nomination, I'm recording this before, and I already know I'm ahead on reviews, and I have no reason to push this out before the nomination period. So if it didn't get nominated, I'm not surprised. Netflix does have another film in contention. They have The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, which is better and works more. And this should be a narrative, full feature-length film. So So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I do have a website, MacTheMovieGuy.com. You can follow me on X, Twitter, or Instagram, MacTheMovieGuy. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org, to let you know what has audio description, where you can watch it. And you can go to the ADNA.org. That's the ADNA.org. It'll let you know who's narrating your favorite films and television series. That's it. I will watch something else and see you guys on the other side.